You can add like the request command in the title and add in the request command the replay analysis too if you want. Yeah. Hello, Carl. How's it going? LT-432. What was this map called? Studzianki. I don't play this anymore because it's awful. I believe this map is like bad with any tank, but let's see what he's gonna do. I suppose with a light tank, you know, you kind of have like a couple of options. You can try to go towards the hill and maybe like spot that side there. Another option is to like try to yellow in the middle fast in one of these bushes. It's very risky though, but it could pay off big and get some spots there. Right side, it's kind of a like whoever pushes first dies there, so not really like much to do, right? Yeah. Hello, Arthur. How's it going? I'm guessing you're gonna try to like YOLO in one of the bushes at the start. It's not bad, it's just like really risky, like I was saying. Really risky. I wouldn't really like... But then again, like this is about like being risky, right? I wouldn't necessarily advise to go all the way here. You could have like just as easily like stopped in one of these bushes here. And possibly avoid getting pushed by an enemy tank from the sides, you know, from the back, because like tanks usually push from that side in the hole. People tend to like go in this ditch a lot, so I personally would have probably like went in one of these bushes, but this could work out just as fine. Another issue you got like with being here is you're kind of like a little bit too late, you know, to spot. If you would have went in one of these bushes here, you could have definitely spotted the tanks going to the left side, and your team could have shot them. Here you're spotting tanks going to the right, and the problem with the right is it is like a million buildings in between, right? So your teammates can't really shoot anything. So you kind of chose a risky position to spot. Your team can't really shoot, you know, what you're spotting there. So you're just getting the spots but no assist. Choosing to like shoot too, risky. Very risky. This is exactly what I was saying, you know. People tend to like YOLO this position a lot. If you would have stayed in the back there, you could have like kept this guy spotted, no problem. Maybe somebody would have shot him. Now you're gonna have to like fight with them, so yeah. At this point you should be down there like helping the AMX. I don't know what you're still doing up. You should be down there helping the guy. You should be D-tracking the Bisonte. Yeah. You should D-track him and just like spin around him. Luckily your teammates came in to help you, but really sloppy really sloppy job so far. Yeah. Could have like easily D-tracked this guy, the Bisonte. That possibly could have like kept the AMX alive because the AMX was trying to flank him too. And he could have possibly like saved the teammate. Yeah. If he kept him tracked. It's little things like these that make a big difference. This is good like work in the ridgeline here. The only problem is you might get arted. But this is pretty good because like this tank is low profile, you know. Well, it's good in this situation because the guy already YOLO'd in the ditch. So what's done is done. You're definitely going up way too high. Way too high. You just like showed up. You just like peeked with half of your tank here. When you could have easily just went in this ditch here, you know, super close to your tank. And you could have like turned your tank towards him and just peek with a turret and not have like, not expose anything to get shot, you know. You're basically choosing to like peek with half of your tank instead of just sitting in this little ditch. You gotta pay attention to the the environment, you know? One little ditch versus like a little bump. No gun depression, so yeah. You're like exposing yourself a lot for no reason. You're lucky the P-43, like, not really paying attention. But if there were something like, you know, that kind of knew what they were doing, they would have like killed you by now. This thing is like super low profile. You can just work tiny ridges, very nice. You don't need to go out with half your tank. It's good though, like, enemy team is not really pushing in. So I guess you got plenty of opportunities to like try to shoot these guys. I would try to like possibly double bush if I was you though, because like if you notice you're like within their spotting distance, so you could have gotten spotted shooting like this. Yeah, I could have easily like went behind this tree here to shoot them on double bush. You know, it's just the situation that, you know, allowed you not to get spotted now because you're shooting against IS and IS-3 that only have V range. T-29 could have easily spotted you, but I guess you're like lucky they're not paying attention to you. Yeah. And just what I was saying, you know. In case you don't know, you can shoot through the boxes, yeah? I guess you realized that at some point. You could have shot this guy like earlier in the boxes. There's really no need to like get closer to him again. You could have easily used that position there. It's higher, it's elevated. You could have shot this guy. Now you're sitting here, you're gonna shoot. If there's something around here, they're gonna spot you. Not good. You're basically risking a lot. You're exposing yourself a lot. You're not getting spotted now, but what I recommend doing now is probably go and try to spot the hill if I was you. You're already going towards that side, so yeah. Go towards the hill and spot it, because the other side is not really gonna go anywhere. Like I said, the other side is whoever pushes first kinda dies, so there's nothing to do there. You got spotted again from the hill. Yeah. Your case too, like minimap awareness. Need to work on it. Try to pay attention to the minimap. And I would most definitely not try to push and spot the hill like this. This is like just suicidal. If I wanted to go spot the hill, I should have like either went around nicely, you know. Yeah. Or possibly from this other side, but definitely not through the middle. I don't know what you're trying to do. You're gonna go here, you're gonna get yourself shot possibly, so yeah, this is just bad what you're doing right now. You shouldn't do that. You could nicely go there where the Indian is. If you're not happy, not spotting anything, you could try to like advance further. And if somebody shoots you, these guys could shoot him too, but not from this position. It's too forward. And you're just like keeping yourself spotted for nothing. And like, this is not light tank playstyle, you know? This is not what you should be doing with a light tank. You should be moving right now, relocating, using your mobility, not pushing tanks. Luckily you spotted the Pantera because he moved really close, but yeah. This is not really like light tank playstyle. This is just more like lucky accidents. Let's put it this way. There's no need for you to keep popping like this and getting spotted. There's absolutely no need. I don't know why you keep doing it. You could try to go on the top there where the Indian is, see if you can spot and push. But like these guys, if there's a tank up there too, you could have like shot you a million times by now. There's absolutely no need to keep doing this. Yeah. Another thing you could have done is maybe like try to like go in the middle again and try to spot that side because the CS was around. But yeah. You're basically just like drawing straws now. Pop in, hoping to spot somebody. You know? You're not really like using your tank like you should be using it. Yeah. Once the Pantera died, you should have definitely tried to push that side. Because you can easily like go down in the ditch and like spot from the railway. You shouldn't necessarily be like around here pushing that side unless you're gonna go in the middle. Oh. Good thing you had like bushes in front of you. I see you definitely have a tendency of like stopping anywhere to just shoot, you know? You have a tendency like when you see a target you just stop everything you're doing and shoot. You don't really pay attention to see if you're gonna get spotted, you know? To see if it's like worth the risk to shoot from there. Hello, Christy. Yeah, so right now you're peeking here, nobody can really shoot anything you're spotting, unfortunately. Is he gonna pop you? Lucky. I gotta say, like, so far you managed to stay alive purely on the misplays of your enemies, right? Most of the people you fought against, they didn't really pay attention to you. So normally, if you would have been like against some like more decent enemies, you'd have been like far dead, like long time dead. You're taking like very risky positions to try to spot with your tank. You're like basically playing the LT like it's a, I don't know, you're playing like it's a 277 or something, no? Like a fast heavy, you know? I know the LT bounces some shit from time to time, but there's absolutely no reason to be this reckless with this tank. Yeah. You're taking like way too aggro positions with this. Hello Arkin, how's it going? How many more teammates? Indian is one shot, you're one shot, Eyes is one shot. At this point, to be honest, if I was you, I would just go like in the cap behind the building and let your teammate spot whoever's trying to come decap. I'm not sure what you're gonna do. Because it's not really like worth the risk. Aizu can pretty much like one tap any of you, so if they're both behind the building, you can flank then, it's okay. Why does he have 10 HEs? That's a very good question. I don't know either. Because this tank's high explosive is absolutely useless. First of all, the penetration is low. 44. Second of all, it's very low caliber, so you're never really gonna do any damage with this to anything. Unless you're shooting at a Rheinmetall, you're never really gonna do any damage with this high explosive, so you definitely have way too much HE on your tank that you don't need. Absolutely unnecessary. You should be just pushing behind them right now. You shouldn't be waiting anymore. I don't know, like, what you're... Like, you've taken, like, very reckless risks so far. Now you're playing, like, too passive when you should be, you know, just pushing in and helping these guys. Because if the eyes would have half a brain, or the mod one, they could have killed this Indian, like, 3 years ago. Exactly what I'm saying, and they could have turned and like shot you too. Right now you're probably gonna get spotted. You're lucky mod 1 doesn't have view range. Aizu doesn't have that either, so... Well, I actually did. No, 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 no. First of all, like I said, he should have pushed way earlier to go behind him, because the Indian was there to keep him busy. And that would have been like perfect, you know, crossfire. He keeps him busy and you shoot them. Second of all, you should have went straight next to the building. I don't know what you're like doing all the way in the back. Just go straight next to the building, you know. There's absolutely no need to like keep the distance anymore. Yeah, there's no need whatsoever. And for crying out loud, get rid of the 10 high explosives. Yeah, this 1, 2 HEs is okay, but 10, they're kind of useless on this tank. You don't need them. You definitely don't need them. You could just like YOLO the Aizu right now. I don't know why you waited. Aizu takes like 15 seconds to reload. In the time he was reloading, you could have like pushed in and flanked them, you know. No problem, I'll go behind this building. You're kind of like a little bit of a paradox. You played very reckless and aggressive at the start. And at the end of the game, when you're supposed to be more aggressive, you're being very passive. Especially since you're the scout. And that Aizu probably doesn't really have like that many chances to like spot, you know. So yeah. Kind of a paradox. It's good that you're both pushing at the same time. My platoon member needed to kill for the mission. Ah. Okay. Could have just detracked the Aizu then. Could have tracked the Aizu because he saw him and, you know, he wouldn't have focused on you. So to sum it all, well, first of all, let's agree on this. Studzianki is a shitty map, so don't think I'm being too hard on it. Studzianki is a shitty map, you know? It kind of sucks for any kind of tank. The position he took in was like very aggressive at the start, very risky, with little to no reward. Because like I said, you're mostly just like spotting the houses here where nobody can shoot. It would have been way easier and less risky if you'd have just picked a bush in the middle, you know? And you could have spotted these guys crossing towards the 9-0 line. And all their teammates that were around here, they could have like potentially given you assist damage to start with, right? Yeah. And after that position he took in the middle, I gotta say it was most just like lucky incidents for you. The Bisonte could have killed you easily. The P-43 could have killed you easily. You definitely need to work a lot more on using the environment. Because you seem to overexpose yourself with your tank. When there's absolutely no need for it. So try to pay attention to the environment more. So you can position your tank and only expose a little bit. And another thing, you need to react to the situation better. Like I said, like at the start, overly aggressive. At the end, overly passive. So you need to react to the situation better. It's not like playing a light tank or playing any tank. It's not necessarily like, okay, I'm going to be passive from the start. I'm going to be aggressive from the start. You need to adapt to the situation, right? Yeah. So at the end, you should have been like a lot more aggressive. The Aizu on the mod 1 could have easily killed the Indian. And then maybe killed your teammate. You kind of took too long. Yeah. You took too long. Yes, and you're very lucky. Like I said, Bisonte could have killed you. P-43 could have killed you. Any TD that was around here could have killed you. Artie could have killed you. Because you were just basically popping out with like half your tank. And like you could have been dead. You would have been dead straight at the start if you wouldn't have had that AMX with you. You know, because the Bisonte pushed in the ditch, so you would have been dead straight away. That's why I don't recommend going into the ditch at the start. It's better to like pick a position, you know, before the ditch, and in case you see somebody coming close, you can run away. Because if you're like if you're caught here, you can't really get away. So yeah. Again, this map is shit. Now there's not a lot of good positions you can pick, but if you're gonna go in the middle, I would say don't go into it straight away. It's too risky. Yeah. Way too risky. And you just basically played very reckless. Yeah. A lot of like overexposure, a lot of like not double bushing, a lot of like potentially like I said here, you had like 3-4 tanks that were crossing, you kept shooting them. Not once you tried to double bush or like hide. Could have gotten spotted any time, could have gotten killed any time. Basically, I think you kind of stayed alive until the end of the game because the enemy tanks just didn't give a shit about you. Yeah. You need to like work a lot more on positioning and shooting with your tank safely. Because it's easy to just like. Also, another thing you do is like as soon as you see a target, you just stop in the middle of everywhere and start shooting. You've done that like a couple of times this game, you know? Before you start shooting, you should like maybe look around you a little bit to see if anybody can potentially spot you and kill you. You can't just like stop anywhere once you see a target and start shooting it. Yeah. So work more on positioning your tank and like working the environment so you don't expose yourself so much. Yeah. Because what I've seen wasn't light tank gameplay at all, honestly. You basically played this like, I don't know, you were in a big, armored, fast, heavy tank, like, I don't know, 277, right? You didn't try to use your camo, you didn't really try to use your V range, you didn't try to use your mobility. You basically just try to brawl all game without using any of your tank's advantages, camouflage, V range, mobility. So you can't just do this with a light tank, it's too risky. All right. I guess I can put this one on YouTube also. I think it could be like very informative for the people to like understand what kind of mistakes they're doing. I'll put this one on YouTube too. I like it. Yeah.